Hello! So for today's video, what I'll be discussing would be the cost formulas that we use when computing for the cost of goods sold and the ending inventory of an entity. So isa sa mga issues in accounting for inventories is magkano ba yung i-recognize natin. So out of our purchases, magkano ba yung i-recognize natin as an asset and magkano ba yung i-recognize natin as expense. So under IAS 2, meron tayo actually na three methods na ina-allow under IAS 2. So first is we have this specific identification method. Second is we have the first in, first out method. And lastly, we have the weighted average method. So ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng tatlong methods na to? So una, we go through the specific identification method. So dito sa specific identification method, from the term itself, i-identify natin ano ba yung mga items na nabenta and yun yung i-charge natin sa cost of goods sold. Kumbaga, kung itong items na to, ito yung nabenta, kung magkano natin siya binili, yun yung i-charge natin as cost of goods sold. Doon naman, so say for example, pag yung mga hindi naman nabenta, kung magkano natin nabili yung mga items na natira sa inventaryo natin, yun yung papasok as our ending inventory. So, kumbaga, i-identify natin specifically kung magkano natin nabili yung item na to. So, kailan natin ginagamit yung specific identification method? So, usually, ginagamit natin ito sa mga high value and konti lang yung quantity items na meron tayo as inventory. And usually, we use this kapag ina-identify natin or specifically ina-attribute natin or kailangan nating i-attribute yung cost dun sa item ng inventory natin. So, usually ginagamit natin to kapag meron tayong specific na project or meron tayong specific na products na ginagawa. Okay? So, this is the first one, the specific identification method. Next naman, kapag yung mga items natin, they are not ordinarily interchangeable or say for example, maramihan natin binibili. Dito kasi sa specific identification method, sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, kapag high quality and low yung quantity na meron tayo, kapag konti lang yung quantity ng inventory na meron tayo, we can use the specific identification method. Kasi madali for us to identify the cost of that specific inventory. Kapag naman yung items natin, they are ordinarily interchangeable, we can use the first in, first out method and the average method. So, say for example, ang mga usually na ginagamitan natin ng either first in, first out method or ng weighted average method, yung mga flour, sugar, yung mga ganong items na mahirap i-identify specifically magkano natin binili yung item na yun, no? So, doon natin usually ginagamit yung first in, first out and yung weighted average method. Okay, so sa first in, first out, so from the term itself, first in, first out. Yung unang pumasok as part of our inventories, yun yung unang lalabas or yun yung una nating ibebenta. So, ibig sabihin, ang matitira sa inventory natin ay yung ano? Yung mga latest natin na binili. Kumbaga, yung ending inventory natin is kung magkano yung cost na latest natin na inacquire na inventory. Kaya nga sabi dito, the inventory remaining is measured based on the most recent cost. Kasi nga, ang assumption natin sa first in, first out method, kung ano yung una nating binili na inventory, yun yung una nating ibebenta. So, anong matitira? Yung matitira is yung mga binila natin on the latter part of the period na ina-account natin. Okay? Yun nga lang dito, there is no proper matching of cost kasi nga, yung revenue, minamatch, yung cost rather, minamatch natin siya dun sa current revenues. Okay? So, yung weighted average naman, from the term itself, kukunin natin yung average ng cost. So, we have moving average method, which is used under the perpetual system, and the weighted average method under the periodic system. So, helpful or okay gamitin yung weighted average method kapag, kumbaga, say for example, ngayon, hindi natin maiwasan that the goods, yung presyo ng goods tumataas, no? So, if you use the weighted average method, yung cost of goods natin, nasa-stabilize na, kumbaga, yung cost. Kasi from mura dun sa initial part of the year hanggang sa latter part tumataas. So, mas-stabilize kasi nga ina-average natin yung price ng inventory natin. So, again, in measuring the cost of our inventory and measuring our cost of sales, we have three cost formulas. The specific identification method, the first in, first out method, and the weighted average method. And under weighted average method, we have the moving average method and the weighted average method. Okay, so to illustrate the inventory cost allocation methods that we have, let's have this problem. So let me just copy and paste it on my Excel file for a while. Lang po. Sorry. So these are our transactions during the year. Ayan. So, ito daw yung mga transactions natin during the year. First, meron tayong beginning inventory at 2,000 units na binili natin for 50 pesos. Our purchases, bumili tayo for 18,000 units na binili natin for 52 pesos. And then, nagbenta tayo ng 7,000 units na nabenta natin at 130 pesos per unit. Then, after that sale, bumili ulit tayo ng 6,000 units for 55 pesos. And then, nagbenta ulit tayo at ng 16,000 units at 135 pesos per unit. And then, bumili ulit tayo ng inventory amounting to 3,000 units na binili natin for 60 pesos. So, we are required to get the cost of the ending inventory, the cost of goods sold, and the gross profit under each of the following methods. So, first is we have the specific identification method. Next is the FIFO method. Third one is the weighted average method. And lastly, we have the moving average method. So, dun muna tayo sa una, sa specific identification method. So, for the specific identification method, from the term itself, sabi dito sa specific identification method, ang gagawin natin specifically, i-identify natin magkano yung cost ng nabenta. Okay, so sabi dito, ang assumption, yung sales number 3 daw, nanggaling sa purchases natin, purchase number 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung buong 7,000 na to, nanggaling dito sa binili natin na ito, from purchases number 2. And then, yung sales number 5, which is the 6,000, nanggaling siya sa number 2 dito sa purchase na to and number 4 dito nanggaling. So, yung 11,000 daw na binenta natin, nanggaling sa number 2 na purchase and nanggaling dito sa number 4 na purchase yung 5,000. Sige, tingnan natin. So, una, pinapahanap sa atin yung cost of inventory. Then, we have the cost of goods sold. And then, we also have the gross profit. Okay. Sige, para mas madali, punta muna tayo dito sa ating cost of goods sold. So, sabi natin, nagbenta tayo ng item. Ang sales natin, ilan daw yung sales natin? Sorry. Sales natin, ilang units? 7,000 units. And then, yung 7,000 daw na to, saan nanggaling? Sabi dito, sales number 3, ito, 7,000, nanggaling sa purchase number 2. Okay. So, yung ibig sabihin, yung 7,000 daw na units na nabenta natin, dito nanggaling sa purchase na to. Magkano ba natin nabili itong purchases na to? Di ba? At 52. So, i-multiply natin at 52. So, ang total, 7,000 times 52, we have 364,000. So, ito yung sales number 3. And then, nagbenta ulit tayo. Nakabenta tayo ng 16,000 units. Sorry. Tama, 16,000 units natin nabenta. Yung sales number 5. Ito, sales at 16,000. Ngayon, sabi sa problem, yung sales number 5 daw natin, yung 16,000, yung 11,000, saan nanggaling? Saan daw nanggaling yung 11,000? Nanggaling yung 11,000 from our purchase number 2. Magkano natin binili si purchase number 2? Binili natin si purchase number 2 at 52 pesos. And then, yung remaining na 5,000, saan daw nanggaling? Kay purchase number 4. So ngayon, meron tayo dito na 5,000 na nabili natin for how much? Magkano yung cost ni purchase number 4? We have 55 pesos. Okay? So ngayon, ibig sabihin, yung cost of sales natin dito, 11,000 times 52 pesos and then 5,000 times 55 pesos. So again, ang yung ginawa natin dito. Dito specifically, in-identify natin kung saan nanggaling yung sale, no? So ito, yung 7,000 na to, sabi sa problem, nanggaling siya sa purchase number 2. Okay. So magkano ba natin nabili yung items from purchases number 2? Nabili natin siya at 52 pesos. So yung cost of sales mo for that sale is 364,000. And then yung second sale naman, which is this one, yung 16,000, nanggaling daw yung 11 kay purchase number 2 na nabili natin for 55 pesos. And then yung 5,000 units nanggaling kay purchase number 4, which is nabili natin at 55 pesos. Okay? So our cost of sales would be the total nung lahat nung na-identify natin. So our cost of sales, if we use the specific identification method, is 1,211,000. Okay, so ito na yun. Cost of sales natin, 1,211. Now, we proceed to the cost of ending inventory. Dito naman sa cost of ending inventory, identify natin, out of the beginning inventory and out of our purchases, mag-ilang items na lang ba yung natira? Okay. So, out of this inventory, beginning inventory natin, meron ba tayong nabenta dito? 'Di ba wala? So, dito, kay beginning inventory natin, since wala tayong nabenta, so lahat ng to magsistay sa ating ending inventory, 2,000. Kasi 'di ba sa problem, yung sales natin wala namang nanggaling from our beginning inventory. So, magkano yung cost? So, yung cost is 50. So, our ending inventory, 100,000. Then, yung purchase number 2, bumili tayo ng 18,000. Pero, ilang units yung sale natin na nanggaling kay purchase number 2? Di ba itong 7,000 na to, dito nanggaling? And then also itong 11,000 na to, dito nanggaling. So, out of the 18,000 units na binili natin, ilan na lang ang natira? So, 18,000 minus yung nabenta natin na 7,000 minus yung nabenta natin na 11,000. So, meron tayong natira na 1,000 units. So, magkano ulit natin nabili yung purchase na to? So, that is for 52 pesos. So, you multiply, you have 52,000 pesos here. Okay. Ay, sorry. Wala na palang natira. Sorry, mali si ma'am. 0 na pala to. Kasi, 7,000 plus 11,000, 18,000. Sorry naman. Wala na palang natira kay purchase number 2. Kasi 11,000 yung binili natin. Tapos, binenta natin yung 7, then binenta natin yung 11. Wala pang lang natira kay purchase number 2. Sorry. Now, we proceed to purchase number 3. Kay purchase number 3, purchase number 4 na lang dito. Yan. Kay purchase number 4, ilan yung nabenta natin? I think meron tayong 5,000 na nabenta from purchase number 4. So, kung 6,000 yung binili natin kay purchase number 4, nagbenta tayo ng 5,000. Ilan yung natira? Meron tayong natirang 1,000 units. Then, magkano natin nabili? Nabili natin siya for 55 pesos. So, multiply natin 1,000 units times yung cost niya. We have 55,000. Next, for purchase number 6. So, for purchase number 6, wala naman na tayong nabenta dito. So, lahat ng to magsistay sa ating ending inventory. So, 3,000, nabili natin siya for 60 pesos. So, 3,000 times 60, we have 180,000. So, ngayon, magkano ang ating cost of ending inventory? Isasum lang natin yung lahat ng ito. Our ending inventory is 335,000. Okay, now, we proceed to the computation of our gross profit. Paano ba tayo nagko-compute ng gross profit? If you remember, gross profit is computed by deducting the cost of sales from our revenue. So, our gross profit is revenue minus cost of sales. So, this is your gross profit. Yan. So, tingnan natin. Magkano ba ang ating revenue? Magkano ba ang pinagbentahan natin? So, sales number 3. So, out of sales number 3, meron tayong 7,000 na sales. Tapos, nabenta natin siya for how much? 130 pesos daw per unit. So, 7,000 times 130, 910. And then we have sales number 5. Nakapagbenta tayo ng 6,000 units for 135 pesos. So, yung napagbentahan natin here would be 2,160. So, our total sales is 3,070,000. So, revenue is 3,070,000. Magkano ulit yung na-compute natin na cost of sales kanina sa specific identification method? 1,211. So, our gross profit, if we use the specific identification method, would be 1,859,000. Again, sa specific identification method, i-identify natin specifically saan nanggaling yung sale and magkano natin nabili yung inventory na binenta natin. Okay, so that is your specific identification method. Now, we go to the FIFO method. Again, sa FIFO method, the assumption is kung sino yung una natin na in-acquire, yun yung una nating mabebenta. Okay. So, ngayon, ganito yung gawin natin. So, i-account natin yung ilang units ba yung nabenta natin. Okay. So, ang inventory natin, meron tayong 2,000 na units. Then, bumili tayo, purchases number 2. Bumili tayo ng 8,000. And then, nagbenta tayo, sales number 3, nagbenta tayo ng 7,000 units. Then, we have purchases number 4. Bumili tayo ng 6,000 units. And then, we sold at sales number 5. Nagbenta tayo ng 16,000 units. And then, lastly, for purchases number 6, bumili tayo ng 3,000 units. Meron tayong 3,000 units ngayon. Ngayon, ang kino-compute ko, ilang units meron tayo in our ending inventory. So, in our ending inventory, meron tayong 6,000 na units. Okay? So, sabi natin, so kunin natin dito is our ending inventory. So, sabi natin, meron tayong natira na 6,000 units in total. After nating i-account yung beginning inventory, lahat ng purchases and lahat ng sales natin for the period. So, meron daw tayong natira na 6,000 units in our ending inventory. So, sabi natin, first in, first out method, kung sino yung unang pumasok, ano yung inventory na unang pumasok, yun yung una nating ibebenta. If yun yung una nating ibebenta, ibig sabihin, yung matitira sa ating inventory, yun yung mga bagong bili lang natin. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga bagong bili natin? So, we have purchases number 6. Diba? Si purchases number 6, ilang units yung meron tayo? 3,000. So, 3,000 yung binili natin kay purchases number 6. So, ibig sabihin nito, since kakabili pa lang natin, ibig sabihin niya nasa inventory pa natin siya. Kasi nga, our assumption is kung ano yung unang pumasok, yun yung unang lalabas. So, yung most recent cost, yun yung matitira sa inventory natin. Yung kakabili lang natin, yung matitira sa inventory natin. Sabi natin, ang natitira sa inventory natin ay 6,000 na units. So, saan nang galing yung 6,000 units na to? So, syempre dito, kasi nga most recent. So, yung 3,000, yung cost niya is 60. So, we have 180,000. And then, yung natitira pa na 3,000, saan nang galing? Kay purchase number 4. Dito siya nanggaling kay purchases number 4, which is nabili natin for how much? For 55 pesos. Okay, so 3,000 times 55, that's 165. So, ang total ng ending inventory natin, if we use the FIFO method, is 345,000 pesos. Comparing dun sa specific identification, we have 335 dito. Okay? So, ngayon, this is our ending inventory. Now, we proceed to the cost of sales. Dito naman sa cost of sales, sasabi nga kung ano yung unang pumasok, yun yung unang lalabas. Ano bang meron tayong una? So, we have here our beginning inventory. Wait lang. So, dito, i-compute pala muna natin. Ilan ba yung nabenta natin? Ilan yung units sold natin? So, nagbenta tayo ng 7,000 and nagbenta tayo ng 6,000. So, we have 23,000 units na nabenta natin. Okay. So, meron tayong beginning inventory na 2,000. So, ibig sabihin, nabenta natin yan. Kasi 23,000 yung total natin na nabenta. Then, yung purchase number 2, nabenta natin yan kasi 23 minus 2 is 21. So, lahat ng 18,000 nabenta natin. So, ngayon, meron na tayong 20,000 na na-account. So, saan nang galing? Yung natitirang 3,000. So, yung 3,000 nang galing kay purchases number 4. So, yung 3,000 units na natira nang galing kay purchase number 4. Okay. Ngayon, magkano yung amount ni inventory, ni beginning inventory, yung unit cost na is 50. Then si purchases number 2, ang unit cost na ay 52. And then si purchases number 4, ang unit cost niya ay 60. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga cost ng nabenta natin. So, the 2,000 is for 50 pesos. The 18,000 is for 52. The 3,000 is for 60 pesos. So, our cost of sales under the FIFO method would be 1,216,000. Okay? Wait lang. 18, purchase. Teka. Tama ba na 23,000 lang yung unit sold? Sorry. Our sales is 17 and 16. And then, our inventory would be 2. Wait lang, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me double check. So, 17 and 6 yung nabenta ko. So, correct. So, that would be 7,000, 23,000 units. Okay, yan. So, 1,216. So, tama naman, di ba? Yung unit sold mo is 23. Okay. Tama. Okay. 1,216 ang ating cost of goods sold. Pero double check ko, why yung book is we're getting 1,201? Kasi yung sa book, what they did was to get the cost and then minus the ending inventory. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ay, sorry. Hindi pala to 60. Sorry. Si purchases number 4, I'm so sorry. Ang cost ni purchases number 4 is 55. Ayan. Kaya pala 1201. My apologies. Sorry. Nagkamali si ma'am, no? So, ang cost ni purchases number 4 pala is 55 pesos. Again, dito, sorry, going back, anong ginawa natin dito kay cost of sales? So, dito kay cost of sales, again, kinuha natin yung cost of good, yung ilan ba yung units na nabenta natin. So, we have 7 sa sales number 3 and 16 sa sales number 5. So, that's 23,000 units. And then, sabi natin kung ano yung unang pumasok, yun yung unang lalabas. So, ginawa natin, yung beginning inventory na 2,000, magkano ba yun? So, that's 50 pesos. Then, we have purchases number 2, which is this one, 18, which is costing 52 pesos. And yung purchases number 4, na 6,000. So, since this is already 20, ang nabenta na lang out of the 6,000 is only 3,000. So, that is amounting to 55 pesos. Kaya, meron tayong 1201. Sorry. Kanina mali lang pala yung cost na pick up ko. This is not 60 but 55 kasi dito siya nanggaling sa purchases number 4. Okay, now we proceed to the gross profit. Magkano ba ang gross profit natin dito? Guys, wala naman tayong change sa ating revenue, no? Kasi same lang naman yung revenue na ating mako-compute dyan. So, sales natin or revenue is amounting to how much is that? 3,070,000, and then our cost of sales is 1,201,000. So our gross profit is 3,070,000. Sorry, 3,070,000 minus 1,201. So we have 1,869. Okay, so ito yung gross profit natin under the FIFO method. Okay? So, again, sorry, bakit ako nagkamali kanina kasi I put 60 here. So, again, FIFO method, i-identify natin ano yung unang pumasok. Ibig sabihin yun yung una nating mabebenta. Okay? So, yun yung ating FIFO method. Okay? So, pwede rin naman ang gawin nyo, guys. So, di ba nakapag-compute na kayo ng ending inventory nyo na 345? Pwedeng gawin nyo, compute nyo lang to lahat. Inventory, yung 2,000 times 50. So, pwede ganito gawin nyo, guys. So, pwedeng inventory, yan. 2,000. Tapos, 50 pesos. Tapos, you have purchases number 2, which is 18,000 units. So, magkano ba si purchase number 2? That's 52. And then, you have purchases number 4 na 6,000 units, which is 55. And then, purchases number 6, which is 3,000. 460 pesos. So, gawin nyo o kunin nyo lahat ng ating inventory tsaka yung purchases natin. So, after nyo kunin yung inventory and yung purchases natin, ima-minus nyo ngayon dito kung magkano yung ating cost of sales. So, na-compute natin na cost of sales, or rather, ima-minus nyo dito yung ating inventory rather. So, ang nag-compute natin na ending inventory kanina is 345,000. So, yung difference niyan, ibig sabihin, yun yung ating cost of sales. Yan. So, pwedeng ganito yung gawin ninyo para hindi kayo mahirapan mag-identify. Kung baga, ang i-identify nyo lang is magkano yung ending inventory. No, para mabilis lang sa inyo. Pwedeng ganito yung gawin ninyong method. Or kung gusto nyo mahirapan, katulad ng ginawa ko kanina, na in-identify ko pa isa-isa yung nabenta, pwede rin naman. Pero this would be the easy way. So, kunin nyo yung inventory, kunin nyo ilan yung purchases, computein nyo yung cost, then ibawas nyo yung na-compute nyo na ending inventory. So, dito nga, ang masasabi, or ang kailangan nyo lang tandaan sa FIFO method, kung ano yung most recent cost, yun yung ending inventory natin. Pero guys, wag malilito. Ma'am, sabi ninyo, most recent cost. pag tinignan po natin, ang most recent cost natin is 60 pesos. Bakit po hindi 60 pesos yung ginamit natin sa lahat? Guys, kasi yung 60 pesos na binili natin is pertaining only to the 3,000 na purchases. Magkano ba yung natira na ending inventory natin? Di ba 6,000? So, ibig sabihin, yung 3,000 pa na natitira is dito nang galing. Doon sa 55. Kaya yun yung computation natin ng ending inventory. Okay? So, that is our FIFO method. Now, we proceed to the weighted average method. So, from the term itself, we have, i-weight natin yung average. So, anong mangyayari sa weighted average method? So, sa weighted average method, medyo madali lang to, no? Kasi, kukunin nyo lang, how much is our total cost of goods available for sale? Tapos, yung total cost of goods available for sale natin, i-divide natin sa total units available. So, kumbaga, kukunin lang natin, magkano yung ilang inventories meron tayo? Wait lang, total units available. Dito, sa weighted average method, kukunin natin ilang units meron tayo, ilan yung inventory na meron tayo, and ilan, magkano natin siya nabili. Okay? Then, yun yung magiging weighted average natin. So, kukunin natin from the term itself, the weighted average. So, computein natin. Magkano ba natin nabili yung inventory natin? So, yung inventory na meron tayo, which is 2,000 units, we bought it for 50 pesos. And then, nag-purchase tayo. So, ito pa rin yun ha, purchases number 2. Bumili tayo ng 18,000 units. And that is for 52 pesos. Then, for purchases number 4, ilan ba yung units natin for purchases number 4? 6,000, and that is for 55 pesos. And then, purchases number 6, 3,000 units, and then that is for 60 pesos. So, ngayon, pag nakuha na natin yung cost, so 2,000 times 60, multiply lang natin yung lahat, then you get the sum. So, this is your total cost of goods available for sale. Okay? Kasi ito yung total cost ng lahat ng inventory, beginning inventory natin, tsaka lahat ng naging purchases natin. Okay guys, kasi sa merchandising formula natin, di ba? We have this merchandise inventory beginning. You still remember? Merchandise inventory beginning plus purchases. Ayan, this is your cost of goods available for sale. Okay, so this one is your cost of goods available for sale. Kaya yan yung computation natin, no? Kaya ang ginawa natin, inad lang natin yung cost ng ating mga beginning inventory plus our purchases. So, this is your cost of goods available for sale. This one. Now, ano ma'am yung total units available for sale? Dito sa total units available for sale, kukunin nyo ilan ba yung units or inventory na meron tayo. So, ito yon. So, meron tayong total na total units available for sale amounting to 29,000 units. So, ibig sabihin meron tayong 29,000 items under our books. Na yung total na cost ng mga items na yon is 1,566,000. Now, to get the weighted average method, sabi natin, total cost of goods available for sale, so that's it's 1,1566 divided by the total units available, which is 29,000. So, ang ating weighted average cost would be 54 pesos. Okay? So, this is our weighted average cost. Sandali lang. Tama ba to? 2,000 beginning inventory. And then, we have 18,000 na purchases at 52. And then we have 6,000 purchases at 55. We have 3,000 purchases at 60. So this is 1566. Why does the book says it's 1544, 1546? 1546 lang ba? Wait lang guys. Kasi 50 lang to. Sorry. 1546 nga guys. Sorry. Sorry guys. 2,000. Itong 2,000 na to. And 2,000 times 50. Ito yung cost, 50. Sorry, nagkamali si ma'am. Nag-60 yung nalagay ko dito initially. I'm so sorry. Ayan. So, 2,000 times 50 yung cost. So, our total cost is 1546. Okay. So, our weighted average cost is 53.31. Sorry, this should be 2,000 times 50, and then our total cost of goods available for sale is 1546. So again, anong ginagawa natin sa weighted average method? We get the total cost of goods available for sale. Ma'am, paano kunin yon? Multiply nyo lang yung units times unit cost. So ito yon. Yung beginning inventory natin na 2,000, yung unit cost niya na 50. Purchases na 18,000, unit cost niya na 52. And then purchases na 6,000, unit cost niya na 55. And then purchases number 6 na 3,000 units, cost niya is 60. So you get the total, that is your total cost of goods available for sale. And then i-divide natin siya sa total units available. Ma'am, ano yung total units available? Ito yon. Ilang units ba yung ating binili? Then yung makukuha natin, that is your weighted average cost. Nasa weighted average cost pa lang tayo, guys, ha? Ngayon, kukunin natin how much is our ending inventory. Based on our computation kanina, ang ending inventory na natira natin is 6,000. Diba? Ito yon. Same lang naman yan. Ang natira sa inventory natin ay 6,000 na inventory. So, that is 6,000 units times the weighted average cost. This is number of units. And then this is your cost per unit, which is 53.31. So our ending inventory would be 319,862. Okay? So ito, diniretso ko lang, mapapansin nyo sa book, iba yung amount kasi naka-round off yung sa book. Okay? Naka-round off siya into 2. Pero sige, round off na lang din. Magkano yan? 53.31. Yan, para same tayo. Okay. Now we get the cost of sales. Ma'am, how much is the cost of sales, guys? Paano natin kukunin? Ilang units yung nabenta natin? Ilang units tong total units available for sale natin? 29 yung pwede nating ibenta. Ang natira daw, 6,000 lang. So, magkano yung nabenta natin? Di ba nagbenta tayo ng 23,000 na units? So, our number of units na nabenta would be 23,000. And then, cost per unit, same lang yung gagamitin natin, 53.31. So, our cost of sales is 1,226,130. Okay? Now, to get the gross profit, so the gross profit, same lang naman palagi yan. Revenue, hindi naman nagbabago yung pinagbentahan natin. So, that's 3,070,000. Minus our cost of sales under the weighted average method, we have 1,226,130. Okay? So, our gross profit under weighted average method would be 1,843,870. Okay? So, this is our weighted average method. Okay? So, kung makikita niyo yung sa libro, medyo pinahaba niya pa yung weighted average method because that is using perpetual. Kaso guys, 'di ba, yung perpetual, Ano naman, yung sa perpetual, 'di ba usually ginagamit natin siya kapag, um, low value kapag high value, low yung quantity. So, kaya hindi ko na i-discuss para mas madali for everyone. So, this is how we compute for the weighted average cost method. Nevertheless, pag ginamit niyo yung long method under 5 po perpetual and dito sa periodic, same lang yung value dapat nalalabas. So, same lang yung cost of sales natin dapat and same lang yung ating um, same lang dapat yung figures na lalabas sa atin. Okay? Wait lang, I have to cut this. So, magagawa na lang ako ng part 2. Okay?